Welcome everybody to Talk of the Trades. We have a very special guest today. Today, Jen McKee is joining us. She got her start in the restaurant business after grinding away for 17 years as a server, bartender, eventually a manager. In 2018, she started her journey as the go-to voice for social media marketing in the trades. She's been recognized as a top 40 under 40 professional by ACHR. She's a mama too, host of the Key to Growth podcast, founder of Key Heart Marketing, and your upcoming conference, The Growth Experience, Profit, People, and Presence. It's going to be a 3-day experience to increase profit, fix bottlenecks, and scale smarter. It's happening in San Antonio, Texas, March 30th through April 1st. So if you want to get your tickets, go to thegrowth-experience.com. Whew, did I capture it
so
all?
much.
Nice. Yeah, well, I was
Yes.
telling you before, I did a lot of research leading up to this. You've been on so many podcasts, have so many great articles out there about you. And I didn't want to just rehash all that because I think, some good questions that we can
Cool.
dive into.
I'm
and talk
excited. I
about.
appreciate that.
So yeah, for sure. So thank you for joining us. First thing I want to kind of jump into, your experience in the restaurant business. I'm also Chili's alum, 2003 to 2004.
Did I know that already? That's
I
fun.
don't know if you did. So I actually, so for those of you who don't know, we're in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm assuming you worked at one here in town.
Yeah, I worked at Henderson Pass. Actually,
Okay.
that year, 2003, is when I started at that one. But
Wow.
I've worked at 6 across town.
Okay. Did you ever work at the one on Days of Allah?
No,
Okay.
I did not.
Got you. So that's where I started. So when I was a freshman at UTSA, my buddy got me a job there as the to-go server, and I was terrible at my job. I'm just going to admit
fun.
it. So, but what I love about the restaurant industry is just like the lessons and just like how it humbles you, right? Especially like waiting tables. I feel like everybody should at least have to wait tables for like 1 year in their
For
life,
sure.
right? Because it just
Yeah.
teaches you so much about how some people can be and treat you, and how to like kind of keep your cool in situations like that. So what are like some of the lessons that you learned like during your time in food services that you have been able to like transition into like your work in home services?
I think a ton. I mean, I can think of so many things. Like you mentioned, I started as a hostess, I was a server, I was a bartender, I went into management. When you're in management at that company, at least when I was, we had to do everything. So I was a cook, I was a dishwasher, I was prep, I was to go, I was expo, I literally have done every single position.
Oh yeah.
One thing I learned, especially in management, was the importance of being proactive, which is helpful as a business owner because if you can see what could happen and follow all of the systems that you have in place and set everything up. So like as a restaurant manager, that was doing a line check every day, and so many managers would just choose not to.
Okay.
And then, like you're halfway through the shift, you're running out of stuff because you didn't know that you were out of it. Like there was just like, it gave you like vision. And so I think being proactive is like one of my strengths. I also learned what was cool about Chili's is probably around the time that you and I started there, just recently before that, they invested a lot into their culture. And so I don't know who they hired, but I know they hired somebody to like build out this whole culture, and they did a lot of things based on the results pyramid, which is basically like your experience change your beliefs that change your actions, which will drive results. And most people just jump straight to action saying like, oh, you should do this so that we can get this result, but you actually have to change the experience of somebody so that you can change their beliefs. So that was something that it was a tool that I learned in management that I think is really helpful as a leader. And like I was a manager in my mid 20s. I was pretty young, and there was a lot about me that wasn't good. Like I was, it was hard. And
like
so
what specifically? Because like me as like a manager and a leader too, like one of the things I struggle with is like being clear with my expectations and what success looks like, and sometimes like being able to let go of the vine and delegate. And I know like you've struggled with some of that as you scaled your business.
Yeah.
So like what do you think like made you not great then that you've kind of changed?
I was told early in my management career that I came off as really condescending, and although that wasn't my intention, like perspective is more important than like your intention. So that's something I really had to work on is how to, and because it's really like a tone of voice thing more than anything else. So it's like, how can I adjust my tone of voice so that people don't think I'm being rude, they like understand I'm being like serious, but also just having the confidence to hold people accountable, to follow through with whatever it is that the expectation is. And that was really hard. I was dealing with people younger than me, people older than me. I worked at some very difficult restaurants. I was a manager at the busiest restaurant in San Antonio at the time. Our sales were insane, and our goals that we were expected to hit were also insane. So like we usually were running well understaffed even for those goals because people didn't want to work there, because it was like really hard to work there because there was no downtime, there was no breaks, and our leadership, like our leadership was a struggle. And that also reminds me, like I've always been somebody who is like I will address things that maybe some people won't if it's like really bothering me. And I got put in a position where I had to sit down with 3 people who were all in a higher leadership position than me and address my direct leader of how I felt like his presence was affecting the restaurant. And that was really difficult. Like there was so.
How did they receive that?
I mean, I was like crying, which is not how you, I mean, I'm a new mom. I'm working in the hardest position that I've ever worked in. I'm like with all of these people who are my senior management level, and I'm being asked to address something really difficult. Like that was really not like, but you learn. You learn. I ended up leaving. I don't even know if this is one of your questions, but I ended up leaving management, and basically like what put me in this place of owning a business is because I really felt like I didn't like having somebody else's, like it was up to someone else whether or not I was going to be promoted or make more money. Like I couldn't, no matter what I did, I wasn't always seen for what I had done, and I just felt like I could do more. And I was put in really tough positions. Like one time I had to train a general manager, and I was not a general manager. I was a manager, so I had to like be the acting manager for 6 weeks, and then they hired somebody, and then I had to train this person because this person hadn't done their due diligence of knowing even like the systems and processes for that position. And so I'm like, cool. So I'll train this person for, they're making twice as much as me. They're bonusing twice as much as me, and this is crap.
And I've heard you talk about like your journey to being a manager. I'm curious, like, what was the contest they made you do to like prove like you could be a manager? Because like, didn't they make you like go through like extra hoops to kind of, you know, get there?
What's crazy is like I kept asking for this. I was like referred to do this, and then we had a leadership change. And so when this new person came in, they're like, okay, well, I don't know you, so why don't you like show me what you can do? And I was pregnant also. Like by the time I got hired and went through management, I was 9 months pregnant. So then I went immediately on maternity leave. But there was a margarita contest every year, and so it was, I mean, amongst like the restaurant, but then it was amongst the area, and so we beat everybody in the margarita contest with the slowest sales store in the city, and we beat everybody in the margarita contest. So.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, one of my next questions was going to be, what was harder, going through the training program 9 months pregnant, or trying to convince home service business owners that social media is important?
I don't convince home service owners that social media is important.
Okay. What do you, then let's reframe it. Like what, so I guess how do you show them like the value? Or what's the challenge then in your role to be able to like work with, home service business owners?
I mean, I don't know. And I'll just like, because I know I answered that like, oh, well, I don't even do that. And the reason I don't do that is because if you don't know that social media is important, then that's not going to be a part of our journey together.
Gotcha.
Like our journey with contractors and home service owners is, you know that this is important. You're struggling to get it done. You don't have the capacity to do it in-house, and you want it to be done really well. And that's where we come in. And so we've faced a ton of challenges around like how to really help home service owners get the most out of this process, because getting content is really hard. Finding time is really hard. Like there's a lot of content that you need to put out there. So there's a lot of challenges within that. But your question was like, what was harder, like getting hired as a manager or like my current sales role?
Yeah,
or
like specifically like, going through training 9 months pregnant. And then now some of the stuff you're dealing with.
That wasn't the hardest thing I've ever done. That was really fun. And there's like adrenaline attached to it because I had reached a goal and was like,
Yeah.
And I was, that was an easier pregnancy than my second one. But I think that I can't, I love the discovery process right now. I love, there's a lot of people who I talk to regularly that can't work with us or aren't at a place of working with us. And I love those relationships too. Whether it's like because they aren't at a revenue level that it makes sense for them to invest with us, or they do all of their marketing in-house, or, like I find myself to be a sounding board. I love talking about social media.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you see me in a conference and we start talking about it, like I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Yeah.
I'm not a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And we have a ton of resources for home service companies. Like if somebody, we typically say like, you should be around 3 million in revenue before you start to invest with us. And if not, we have like a email that goes out with just like a bunch of different resources that we update regularly, so that if you do want to do it on your own, or you just need to figure out where to start or whatever. I just did a webinar with one of the best practice groups that we're a vendor partner with yesterday or the day before. And so those are always free, and I just like give out all my secrets.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think so many people out there try to gatekeep and, and I think we all have some secret sauce sort of, but I think what makes you unique is like you. And, aside from the social stuff, like I can speak to it firsthand. Like when we were at the conference like last week, we talked about just more stuff like industry wide, and you were so gracious and just sharing like your knowledge and what you found like through these mastermind groups, because we're out here trying to make it in home services also. And, and your arc, man, like has just been like, I think you're on like this rocket ship right now, because like just the visibility around you and like how you've been able to help other folks, and like really like the measure of success I see for people is like when others start talking about you, and so it's a really like awesome thing to see, because I think we met like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago at Pantheon. Ryan had introduced us, and from that point on I just started following you, and not even just in the Service Titan ecosystem, but just all over. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate you. I think sometimes,
and that's a testament to the importance of visibility.
Yes, for sure. Exactly.
That's what you need to focus on.
So what was your go-to shift meal at Chili's when you had time to eat? Because I figure you're probably so busy you probably never get. But what was like?
That's such a fun question.
Did you order like a normal thing off the menu, or did you do like a custom thing?
So back in the day when I was a hostess, we used to get 50% off.
Yeah.
I mean 100% off. Hostess got 100% off.
Okay.
I would get chicken basil pasta. That was my favorite.
Okay.
They don't even have it anymore.
Yeah.
It hasn't been there for like 15 years. That was so good. At the end of my journey with Chili's, which ended right at COVID, like that's what got me out of it, I would pretty much every day just eat like chicken, like kids' chicken and broccoli.
Something a
or
little cleaner.
Like truly. When you work at Chili's, you like eat fries all day, so that's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But you're
and
just
I'm
like
sure,
munching
like,
on fries. Chips. Any Mexican restaurant, everyone there is eating the chips the whole day.
For
like
sure.
That's just what happens. And
so
that's terrible, but that's what we used to do.
Okay, so chicken basil pasta was the go-to?
That was so good.
Okay, I don't think I ever had that. My go-to was the Chipotle blue cheese bacon burger.
Dang, that one's old too.
That it's
one's
no
not
longer on the menu.
No,
Yeah, I'm like,
they can
so
still
sad.
do that.
Can they? Okay.
If it's the honey chipotle sauce, do they still have that?
No, it was a different one.
Yeah.
So, but I loved it, dude. And then,
You know what? I still go to Chili's and I order. I'm like the worst because
you're like, I know you can
I
do that.
modify
Yeah,
it so bad, but it's because I eat the Chipotle chicken bowl, which I don't know if that's the same Chipotle either, but there is a Chipotle pesto on it.
Okay.
And I get it with, it's supposed to have 2 scoops of rice. At least it did when I would make it. That was the recipe. And I'm like, no rice, just put broccoli in it. And so there's still managers I know, like I know the GM at this one, and he was working the other night, and they laugh when they see that order because it can only be somebody that worked there and know the menu.
Yeah.
But I'm like, sorry, just tell the kitchen, like, put it on the side or something. Just don't put the rice in there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I love it. Yeah. My other like custom thing. So for a while there, I got hooked. Like they had like this Philly cheesesteak.
Oh yeah.
But I would like have them like toss it in like the buffalo sauce.
Oh yeah, that's
which
good.
was weird, but it tasted so good.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 things like I probably lived off while I was there. And I can't remember as like a to-go kind of server if we got free food or how it worked.
I think you did.
So,
it was like non-tipped employees, and to go definitely was paid at a normal wage.
Yeah, we got paid normal
so
wages,
you probably did. I know Kitchen gets 100% off.
Okay.
And
they can eat anything they want.
No, not necessarily, but yeah, that's what they think.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You're over here trying to control food costs.
Yeah,
like
no,
like,
they cannot.
Yeah.
I think there was a what is it called? Like it can only be up until like $15 or something.
Oh, okay.
I think there was like a
threshold.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Is that where you met your husband, Jason?
No.
Like, no. Okay,
I met him. He was a bartender.
Okay, but not there.
No.
Okay.
No.
Very cool. So you met him like in the bartending circuit, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because so I actually left Chili's for a short time because when I was 20. Because I got mad at the managers and I went across the street to Chewy's.
Okay.
And so when I went to Chewy's, everyone used to hang out at this one bar. And so I would go there with them, and he was a bartender there.
Okay.
And then
cool.
one of the people I worked with at Chewy's was his roommate. Like
Okay.
they were roommates too. So
Nice. How many purple suits does Jason own?
Oh my God.
I love his
I know.
purple suits.
I want to say he has 4.
Nice.
But he's constantly collecting suits. He would just today was trying on a new suit that I was like, I don't know, it's got it like the fit of it had a lot of fabric in the front because it was like double button.
Double-breasted.
Yeah, and I'm
that's like coming back, double-breasted.
I know, but I'm like, a lot of times your jacket is undone so that people can see your shirt, and I'm like that. Like there's too much fabric.
Too much going on.
Yeah, I'm like
Gotcha.
that can't work, and he was really bummed. He was trying to figure out how to make it work, but
okay. Well, I love his style.
He gets them on Amazon.
Shout out Jason. Nice.
I know everyone's like, where'd you get that? Amazon. Just
well,
go
I
to
saw
Amazon.
like the other when we were at the conference here in town, like he had like the light up purple shoes.
I know,
and I'm just
those are
like,
cool.
Man,
Amazon.
Those are
and
cool.
then he has a great a tailor, a guy he's across the street from our neighborhood in this little cleaners, and he will like fix things and alter them and.
That's like a awesome like life tip. Like find a good tailor, you know.
I feel like you avoid it for a long time. Like I had this skirt that I was gonna throw away because the zipper broke, and I was like, no, I know this tailor. He can just fix it.
Yeah, my wife is really good about that, and so now like I'll order something and like the pants are too long. And we have a good tailor, and I'll just go and like she hooks it up.
Yeah.
A week later.
So you can order off of Amazon, and then you can go to a tailor, and it's fine.
Yeah, like Amazon, like so I'm big into like men's fashion, and so like I'll be on TikTok, like on Talk Fashion or whatever, and then there'll be a guy wearing like a $500 jacket, and I'm like, I can find this on Amazon.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So that's my go-to.
That's cool.
Awesome. So moving on here. So you know, you described yourself as, you know, a product of the social media era, and you grew up coding MySpace pages and running Hanson fan blogs.
That's so funny.
So what, you know, are some things, you know, as an early adopter of technology like that, and now, you know, working, you know, fully in this space with clients, like, are there any trends you're seeing in social that are like 6 months out maybe, right? Because we've been hearing all this stuff with AI and how it's impacting SEO and all this stuff. Like, what are your like hot takes on like what's coming, right?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that we're still far off from AI taking over social media for us, because when we think about social from the perspective of how we consume it,
Right.
you're not consuming content that somebody automated, like
Right.
ever. The content that we're consuming is either like off the cuff or extremely well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not like just throw it in and like that's what we're watching or
Right.
looking at. And so everybody's trying to figure out how to get AI to like do all of their marketing for them.
Right.
And it's just not happening. Truly, the best thing you can do is under edit, under produce, like unless you're like full send, it's got to be under. It's
Yeah.
like not that in between.
Gotcha.
So I still see that. Gary Vee talks a lot about live shopping. I think that's really
know.
interesting. I think obviously for e-com, super, like I think you could
Huge.
blow it up with that.
Yeah.
When you think about it from home services, one thing I've encouraged people to do, and no one's ever taken me up on it.
Okay.
I probably should talk about it more.
Listen up, people.
I should probably talk about it more. I don't encourage it enough. But live stream your day.
Mm-hmm.
And like I tell contractors all the time, like your content should really just be here's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like in just like selfie or video walkthrough of
Yeah.
like this is what my job, this is the job that I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is the problem that they had, and this is what we're doing to fix it. But like if you had, I don't think Metaglass is live stream yet. Do they? I don't think they do. They do like 3 minutes at a time or 3 seconds at a
I'm
time
not sure,
or
to
something.
be honest with you.
But like even setting up your tripod at
Yeah.
a job, and I know that's a little risky, but
It's true. Yeah.
I do think that I think that would really blow up.
And Gary Vee has talked about that also. He's like, there's going to be a day where we're just going to be watching people do normal stuff.
We
Right.
are already.
Right, like just like
That is what we do.
If we had a camera here just set up of us live, like,
Yeah.
and just people being able to like this whole idea of like voyeurism, I think has gotten like progressively big. Like that was I think the whole thing with social media, right? And speaking of early adopter, you hacked your way into Facebook using
EDU.
using
Yeah.
your EDUs, and that like I think Facebook is what started this for us because it was like we wanted to see like what all our friends are doing and all that, but like I think the way it's morphed and everything is like we're like just watching everybody's lives, right? And
Yeah.
so like as that progresses, but there's been stuff like that exists. Like I remember during the pandemic, one of my coworkers, when we were all working remote, she's like, dude, I found this site where it's like people just live streaming their windows, like the view out of their window, and you could just cycle through and like randomly just like watch somebody's window. It was
Yeah.
weird, and like what was happening outside. But it was like kind of like soothing, but also like nice because I don't know, it was just different. So but that's interesting. I think you're spot on about that. I think people should, be able to live stream more, and then you could take that content and chop it up into other stuff.
And just like this focus on like having to have it be perfect and not that everyone thinks that, but there's still a lot of contractors that have spent a lot of money on their branding and wanting to be presented in this really like certain way. And the thing is that doesn't help you stand out. And the
Right.
whole point of social media is for people to like you. Like,
Right.
and they can only like you if you give them the opportunity to get to know you. And the only way that they can get to know you is if you like open up a little bit.
Right,
And
yeah.
there's like
Share who
a
you are.
authenticity to
Yeah.
it. Like there's, and I did this webinar a few weeks ago with Catherine Howard, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. Her brother is Tom Howard, and
Okay. We know Tom. Yep.
and she was a part of Lee's through some of their biggest growth that they had in 2024 and 2025, and Catherine has a following of people who are raving fans, okay? And you
Okay.
hear marketers talk about this idea of raving fans.
Yep.
And the whole thing with having raving fans is that you have haters, and that makes it really hard.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a lot easier
And they're
to stay
usually the
comfortable.
loudest,
But it's a lot easier to stay comfortable, and you stay comfortable by just being fine, like you're content.
Yeah.
And I'll be totally honest, I do that. I am not really good at being so polarizing. And it's not like you have to be. So anyway, so I had this webinar with Catherine, because Catherine is one of our keynotes at the Growth Experience Conference, and she's freaking incredible. The reason that I have her as a keynote is because when she speaks, you are moved. Like there's no other option. And you may be moved out of the room, unfortunately. And that's what happened, is that there were some people that were a little bit offended by her.
Wow.
And afterwards, she was like, I'm so sorry. That wasn't my intention at all. I just get really passionate when I speak, and this is what comes out. But what I saw, because I'm also a part of this group that Catherine created called the Sisterhood, and it impressed me so much that when she started this group, people flocked to it. Like, whatever, yes, I will do that.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. That's not easy to do. And she was able to do that. And that's where it came from. So then when I was like listening to her in that webinar, I was like, this is it. It's because she's so passionate that you either are like, oh my God, this woman's incredible, or like completely turned off by it.
Right.
And that's hard
as
a business owner. But that's how you have raving fans. That's how you can really do something impactful and meaningful. And I'm not saying like piss people off, but if you're not pissing people off, you're not doing a good enough job getting people to love you.
Yeah, and just being your authentic self, I think, too. Like somebody like Gary Vee, like I could not stand him for the longest time.
I didn't like him either at first.
I just he got under my skin, and I just couldn't.
I like him so much now.
Yeah, I love him. He's taught me like so much. But then even like some of the people that have come from his circle that I've been able to follow. There's one guy, I think his name is J-Mo.
I love him.
Yeah, he's just like...
Dude, we're friends on TikTok.
Are you?
I was like, look, I'm getting closer to my 6 degrees of Gary Vee. I've met him.
Nice.
I'm friends with J-Mo on TikTok.
Heck yeah. Yeah, J-Mo is awesome. The stuff he drops is just...
It's
insanely...
Like,
yeah, because they're like...
He's also hard to listen to, though, because he's like so long-spoken.
He is, yeah. So I'll have to watch his stuff like 2 or 3 times just to like, because I'm like, did I catch everything?
Right.
But talk about like thought leadership from there. It's like, God, I love, like that's the stuff that like gets me going for sure.
Yeah.
So is the other question I have for you is like, is the newsfeed dead? Because everybody, it seems like, just wants to post reels and stories and on TikTok. And so like, are like the news feeds on Facebook and Instagram, do you think those are dead in your opinion, and like we need to over-index on video? Or like, what's your philosophy on that?
So, okay, there's like 3 different things in there that you just said. Video, Google's doing something with video from social media right now. And it's popping up in search, not only in all search, but it's also got its own video search and short form video search. And it's indexing from Facebook and Instagram more than TikTok and YouTube from what I'm seeing.
Okay.
So if you're not posting video as a business owner, you're missing out on that Google opportunity, which is pretty massive.
Yep.
And then from a social media standpoint, people watch video. People watch video on TikTok. Like when you create a video, you can post it on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. So now you have 4 platforms for all one piece of content that you created.
Yep.
Like you can't even do that with static content. So I think if you're not posting video, you're doing a really big disservice to yourself.
Yeah.
From a like personal brand standpoint, I use Facebook. I use all different sides of Facebook, and they all get reach and engagement. So
nice.
I post text-only posts every single day. I post static content. I post video. I post stories.
Gotcha.
And there's people that engage in all of those, and there's lurkers in all of those. Like people who come up to me later about things that I've posted about. So I can't say that the news feed's dead. What it is that there's just a ton of content out there, and the algorithm is specific for each person. So if you're not posting a lot, then people aren't remembering that you're even there. Like it's just not possible. There's so much content. I don't even know what the statistic is for how often people are opening social media apps throughout the day.
Yeah.
But like, it's
Probably
a lot.
Yeah.
And they're, not for long periods of time to scroll, literally just like check, and turn it off. And so if you think about that, like if you're only posting, once every 3 days, there's so many people that are never seeing your content at all.
Yeah. What would you say? Do you have like a benchmark on how much you should post? I've heard like different things like, post 10 times a day versus once a day, or have you found like a good sweet spot?
Consistency is the most important thing. So
Okay.
I really, when people like aren't posting at all and they're like, okay, our goal is 6 times a day, I really caution them to not do that. And because burnout, like,
Oh yeah.
that's not going to get you where you want to go.
Yeah.
You have to like come up with a plan that you can do consistently and then build on it. It's better to start lower and get consistent about planning out your content and having a plan to capture the content and having a plan to schedule the content and having a plan to like get it out there. And then like I'm at a point now where my goal just for my personal brand is we post 6 times a day on Facebook, and then we have the Key Heart Marketing Instagram. We have the Key to Growth podcast Instagram or social medias.
Mm-hmm.
We have the conference social medias. We have TikTok for like, we have YouTube for all of them. So, but there's 6 people working on my team that are helping with all of this content. And that's not even including the podcast production team. Like there's so many people helping with this. And even then there's times that I don't hit my goal because I didn't plan well enough to make it happen. So the best thing to do is figure out what you can get consistent with. Like,
so
and anytime I start with people and I'm like, okay, how much time do you realistically have a week to work on this? And like people are like, oh, I have an hour, I have 3 hours. Cool, put it in your calendar right now. Like block out your calendar. This is what you're gonna do, because then step 1 is creating a content calendar. And like for a personal brand, that's not always easy, but what are you gonna do? Like you need to be posting video, and now the whole day has gone by.
Yeah.
You don't even have a video recorded, let alone edited and posted. Like, no, you have to like plan this in advance. If you have a plan and you come up with like what your content is gonna be, and you can record 10 videos in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, so my team sends me video ideas and they're like, Jen, can you do this? Yes, I can do that. And that is my job. Like, get this thing recorded and sent to them, but then someone else is editing it, someone else is creating the caption, someone else is scheduling it.
Yeah.
That's how it's getting out there. So you have to like put it in your calendar. What can you do consistently? Come up with a plan and then start to execute on it.
Nice. One thing you talked about, and I've been seeing it more too, is like Google's now indexing like Instagram stuff. Like, is there any like quick pro tips you have on like what should your captions, like what could you do to that post to make it more indexable, I guess? Like any
what I've seen is like your bio is really important.
Okay.
So that's what it looks like it's pulling from, honestly, is bios. So what that means is don't just put like your cute tagline. For instance, this is not even our tagline, but like Key Heart Marketing, if it was like the key to your home service company growth, like that literally does not say what we do.
Gotcha.
That's like not even, so like what, someone's not going to search like
exactly
key to my home service growth. Like no, it needs to say social media for home services. So your bio needs to say AC repair in San Antonio, Texas. Like, what are people going to be searching for? That's what your bio needs to say.
Okay.
You can add that like cute tagline if you have enough characters. They all have different amount of characters that you can put in there. But like, you need to have what you do, where you're at, and then probably your phone number so that they can call you. Facebook lets you like put a whole bunch of information in there. TikTok gives you 80 characters, so you have to be creative.
Yeah.
And then after that, one thing that we've been testing, and we don't have enough data to say like how much of an impact it's making, but really filling out our captions with keywords. So the first part of the caption is still native to the platform, so it's going to be something that fits with the video and fits with the platform.
Right.
The bottom of the caption is like what's going on in the video, what our specialty
Gotcha.
is, where we're at, like other cities that we're in, like
Yeah.
really keyword heavy, and that's based on some stuff that we've seen
Okay.
in videos that are being indexed.
Just giving more context to the potential
and
whatever.
like, you know what? That strategy probably isn't going to work for very long because it's similar to just like pumping your website with keywords
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
eventually Google's like,
Right.
But right now, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of it is like you got to test and iterate, and then
Yeah.
whatever works, like you just ride that wave until like the next one comes.
Great.
So cool. Before we move on from this one, what was your favorite Hanson song?
I don't even remember.
Bop.
No,
That's
it
the
wasn't
only
that
one.
one. That's so funny. I wasn't
How
writing.
many Hanson fan blogs are we talking about?
I didn't write them. I read them.
Oh, you read them.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the beginning of the internet, I read them. That was like
Okay.
what I was doing online is
Okay.
reading these fan blogs. But I did have my wall of my bedroom was covered from top to bottom with mostly Hanson posters. There were some
Okay.
other like whatever.
Who else made the cut?
Probably like
NSYNC,
yeah.
Backstreet
I think like
Boys.
Christina Aguilera,
Okay.
like people like that, like
Yeah.
from 17 magazine. And they used
Okay.
one of those magazines used to like have fold out posters
Okay.
and stuff. But there were also, I mean, this was, I don't think anyone listening to this wouldn't remember this. I mean, I don't think you have that young of an audience, no offense or
Let's
anything,
see,
but
let's
like
see.
there was a time where there were like magazines specifically, I want to say specifically around Hanson even, but like for
Okay.
specific things. Like there were so many magazines.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I would
miss
just buy
magazines,
them.
yeah.
I love magazines before you get on
Yeah.
a plane and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, but so I knew everything about them. And what's
Okay.
funny is I don't know what my favorite song was. I know I had one.
Okay.
I can't even think of what it
Wow.
was, but like I would
Who
watch
was your
every
favorite
documentary.
Hanson brother?
The youngest one.
The youngest one? Okay. Was he the drummer? Dude, you gotta
I
brush.
think
You gotta
so.
brush. You're getting rusty on your Hanson.
I know.
Fan base. Dude.
That's so funny.
So
Yeah, that was my obsession.
Okay. Awesome. Love it.
Probably like 1999.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
98,
remember
99.
Mbop for sure. The TRL days.
I know.
You know, it's
Used
like
to
those are-
record at TRL, you know, like on your VHS.
Oh yeah, for
or
sure.
like anytime that they were on anything, because that like Oprah used to interview people, so we would do that.
Wow.
All of the late shows, like
so
record it.
you were hardcore.
I was.
Nice.
Oh, for sure. But also, I remember doing that too for like anything around Titanic, like
Wow.
all of that. I
Okay.
would record that.
Nice.
It was a different time. There was no TikTok. Like
Right,
now you can
yeah,
like
yeah,
deep dive
yeah.
on TikTok and Reddit, and you couldn't do that then. So you
Yeah.
had to like
Deep dive in a
do your own
magazine
deep
or-
dive.
yeah,
You had
yeah,
to like
Yeah.
document things so you could go back and watch them.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no like back in the day we couldn't just save a video on our phone. We would like record that thing.
Do you have kids?
I don't have any kids.
It's funny when we talk to the kids about like what
Oh,
you
they're
used
like,
to be
"What is
able to
that?"
do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
y'all don't even know, but back in my day.
Exactly. I think we're getting to the age where it's like back in my day.
It
you
isn't
know,
so bad.
I almost said it the other day, and I was just like, oh god, I had to like stop myself.
I know. At the same
So-
time, I'm only like 20 years old, so
True.
it's like
Yeah.
it's a difficult
One of the
like
youngest, one of the
thing.
youngest 40 under 40 ever. So
It's really,
Yeah.
it's a
Nice.
constant pool.
So awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, you know, talking about, you know, Key Heart. So, you know, I read that, you know, in 2018, when you decided to, you know, finally kind of make this a reality, you drove down to the courthouse to get your DBA and really
Yeah.
officially make this side hustle a thing. And I think you shared like some emotions and things that were kind of going through your head. I think you posted in October on your Facebook about it. You know, if Jen today was the passenger in that seat and riding with Jen of yesterday down there, what do you think she would tell her?
I think it's incredible what's possible. I am an optimist, which can make the people around you really uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
When you're like confident that anything can work.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's who I was then too. So I was fully confident that I was going to make this happen. I couldn't see this part,
Right.
but I knew that from what I had studied and what I continued to study and continue to study now is like what people who have reached the goals that they want, and like successful people, no matter what success they're looking for, they just keep doing the same thing every day, like the mundane steps, and eventually it just started to pay off. And I was like, that's crazy. So I think that the only thing that I could do, which is what that self did, is like just trust that this is going to work out.
So you would today, your today self would just remind yourself of yesterday, like, hey, it's going to work out. Like all that stuff you're feeling, like it's okay, but just know like one day you're going to be speaking on stages and have a team of 17 plus. And
yeah. So I was at this event in November for Abraham Hicks, who teaches the law of attraction.
Okay.
So it's like, it's very woo-woo, but also one of the most incredible things I've ever studied. And so I got called up to be on stage. And when you get called up, you're like, you're chosen, okay? And
wow.
And
what's that like? Like you get up there and then
it's really hard to explain if you're not familiar with Abraham, because it just sounds crazy if I go too deep into it. But basically, this woman channels this collective consciousness.
Okay.
But what she said, or the collective consciousness told me, is I'm going to say she, but she said, if I were to give, I could give you $1 million in your bank account right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, thank you. And she said, it wouldn't be as delicious as what it is when you work towards it.
Gotcha.
So like, there's nothing that I could say to my past self
mm-hmm.
that would make what's happening now be any better.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the only reason it feels the way that it does now is because of everything that's led up to it. If you're just like immediately handed everything
mm-hmm.
that you want,
yeah,
then you have no idea what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And so instead, when you get to like look back and be like, I can't believe this worked. Like, I can't believe that all of these things that I wanted and thought were possible and put in all of this time and effort to create, like actually created. And it's
yeah.
like still evolving, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard a really great quote the other day. It's like everybody wants the view, but nobody wants like the climb to get there.
That's like the best part.
Yeah, yeah. And I think and that's like what makes it worth it when you get
right.
there. Because like, you know, if you're just handed something, then like, and I think the same kind of goes with like clients. Like anytime you give them something quote unquote free, it's like a lot different than when they're paying for it. You know?
Yeah,
it's like
the
if
value.
It's a free thing, they're like 50,000 like edits, you know. But when they're paying for it, it's like a whole different, you know, thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's super super interesting. So, but yeah, and it all worked out, right? Now you're just like, you know,
I mean, it's still
crushing
going.
it. Yeah. Well, that's true.
We
yeah.
haven't reached the destination. We're still going.
Okay.
So.
And so kind of on that note, you said, you know, in the past that, you know, reading You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen McKee was like a really big shift kind of in your like mindset. And kind of for those that don't know, like the main thesis of that is kind of like your beliefs about money and how it shapes your financial reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm somebody, you know, that's always struggled with like limiting beliefs around like just money and that sort of stuff. I'm wondering like, what was your limiting belief that you kind of had to get over to really like push you forward?
So, just for the record, I am still practicing everything around those mindset things
mm-hmm.
every day.
Yeah.
And I just recently, like 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, implemented the Miracle Morning into my mornings because I was struggling. And if you're not familiar with that, it uses the acronym SAVERS for your morning. So it's silence, so like meditation, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing or journaling. So I had been doing some of it, but not all of it. And that has made a really big difference in my last 2 weeks. I think that with that book, it was my first look into the law of attraction and how much your mindset impacts everything that you everything that happens in your life. Like we create our whole reality, and it's based on our perspective. And so if your perspective is that I don't have enough, then you will not have enough. There's no other way that you can. And so, and it is really challenging to look at your bank and see the money that's in there and then try to tell yourself that I'm a millionaire, you know, like those do not align. So it's learning how to really like find that alignment, but it's learning how to what am I trying to say? Like focus on what is true that is going to help move you towards what this goal is that you have.
Okay.
So I didn't stop with that book. That book really showed me something that was possible, but from there I read a number of other books that actually led me to the Law of Attraction, the Abraham Hicks books that I still study regularly. But even there is not where I stop, because if you look at any really successful person, they're all saying the same thing, and it's all really based on mindset and the law of attraction. Okay,
interesting. So what are you like reading right now, or what piece of content have you consumed lately that's led to like a new shift in mindset? You say you're working on it all the time. Is there anything like top of mind right now that's like, I'm really kind of focusing in on this? You mentioned the Savor stuff.
Yeah, the Miracle Morning is one that I am currently reading, which is interesting because it's been said to me so many times. So hopefully someone listening to this gets that like aha and needs it right now. I didn't pick it up, and then like something shifted and I ordered it from Amazon and started reading it the next day. I also am reading Profit First by Mike McCowitz. So Mike McCowitz is the keynote at the Growth Experience Conference, and that's a really, really cool concept that I love. Right before that, I read The Science of Scaling, Dr. Benjamin Hardy, I believe, who wrote 10x is easier than 2x. So it's a really interesting concept of like scaling down so that you can scale up. And then another one, sometimes I'm reading like a bunch of books at once and I just like pick them up as I go. But another one that I've kind of been off and on reading is it's by Jesse Cole, and it's called Fans First. And I got to go to a Savannah Bananas game in October at an event, and like from a business and marketing standpoint, it's just an incredible experience, and like really thinking about how you can implement those kinds of touch points. Like you guys did a really great job with that for me coming here, of just like feeling really special and seen, and like that's what people want whenever they go places. So y'all did good.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I always tell our team, it's like, man, it's about the experience, because you've probably been on a ton of podcasts, and which you have, I know you have, and like for us and what we do, there's a lot of social media marketing agencies, there's a lot of lead generation marketing agencies, and really like at a certain level, there's a class of expertise, right? And if we assume there's other folks out there that are at our level as well, what makes us different? And it's our people, and it's the experience that we give to our clients. And so I'm always like telling the team, like above all, like we got to make sure that's like dialed in. And it's just like little things, like I'll be on a call with a client, and they just briefly mention that, oh, like my kid's getting married and whatever, and so I will literally go find their wedding registry and like buy something for them, and just send it to them, and not even like say anything, and sometimes like the client will come back and say, hey, like you guys got a gift for like my son, and like we're very appreciative. Other times like I haven't heard anything, but really it's like the thought that matters, in us like being like thoughtful in that sense. Or if there's like a death in the family or anything like that, like we just try to go above and beyond to like say, hey, like we hear you and we see you, and we truly care about them like as people. So but I appreciate you saying that, because like earlier in like researching, like I was talking to my wife this week, and I'm like, hey, like I'm interviewing like Jen McKee, and I'm like telling her all about you and stuff. And so like literally like I probably watched like 6 podcasts you were on. I read like every single like article that was out there. I use like Gemini to like get some information as
That's
well.
super impressive. Yeah, I've
and
never
so-
had somebody be so prepared to talk to me.
Sweet, I love it. Because honestly, that's kind of like one of my pet peeves is like when somebody gets you on a podcast and they're like, so just tell me about you.
Yeah.
You know, and so like, and then you have to go through your spiel. You're like, I'm Jen McKee, and
Yeah.
like you're saying the same story like 10 different times.
Mm-hmm.
When like in one card, I was able to cover like everything you've said in
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah.
And now we can like talk about other stuff.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
cool. I like
So,
that.
So kind of on the same like idea of like, you know, the things we read to help us from a business perspective. One of the things that I've heard you reference before is kind of like the 10K matrix, that productivity ladder about being able to like, you know, understand what are like $10 to $100 tasks, what are my $1,000 tasks, what are my $10,000 tasks, right? So what, and I know you've implemented this, I think naturally you've had to as you've scaled,
Yeah.
and let go of the vine. You know, I know you run on EOS as well, and so so do we here, so very familiar with that. But the question I have is, you know, what is like a $10 to $100 task that you've been able to eliminate from like your day-to-day that you never want to like have to do again, and has made like a great impact on what you can do now as a business owner and a leader?
Yeah. I mean, when I first started, a lot of that was around fulfillment. And
Okay.
so I don't do fulfillment anymore. And like, it's funny because probably 2 years ago, we had a client and you know, we learned from every time that a client is unsatisfied. And this client was unsatisfied with some stuff in our process, and we learned so much from it. But one of the things he said to me is like, you know, we really love you, Jen, and we think you're incredible. And I know when you like have someone else do it, sometimes it's not up to your standard. And what's crazy is that I don't think that I was ever a good like graphic designer person.
Right.
I don't. One of the first things that I did was hand that off because I knew what needed to get done, and I knew what good looked like, and I knew what would move the needle, but I knew that that is not my strongest suit.
Right.
So delegation has never been a problem for me, and I know that it's a problem for some people.
Yeah.
To answer your question, about a year and a half ago, I read that Dan Martell book,
Oh yeah.
Buy Back Your Time.
Yeah.
So the first step in Buy Back Your Time, and I tell owners this all the time, and people that haven't done it can't fathom. Okay. But
Let's
the
hear it.
first
I
step.
haven't read it, and I have a personal interest in this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, trying to free up time.
So the first step in Buy Back Your Time is to hand off your inbox and your calendar,
Okay.
right? And you're like,
God,
I could
love
never
that.
do that.
Yeah.
But how much of your day is spent reacting to what's going on in your inbox
Oh, yeah.
versus
Oh,
like
yeah.
whatever else is on your list?
Yeah.
And so not only in your day-to-day life is this completely consuming you, but when you're at a conference or here recording a podcast or anywhere on vacation,
Yeah.
like it is your responsibility to follow up with all of these emails. And like some of them you want to follow up, but these are this is money, this is opportunity, this is whatever. So 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I went with a company called Unique Genius. They're actually one of our sponsors at the Growth Experience Conference. They're awesome. This woman named Angela is the owner, and she has a whole team in the Philippines. I love it because they are connected as a group, the Unique Geniuses. They only work with one person, so like you get your genius full time, and they're completely in your company, ingrained in your company. But they have like a yearly meetup, and they have trainings internally. So like they have GHL specialists and Google specialists and people that can help, like if you have something and you tell them what it is that you need. But so anyways, so I got Margot. If you've ever emailed me, you know Margot, because Margot's like all up in
Margot,
my, it's funny. I think some people don't think she's real, but she's totally real. And Margot, and I'll be also honest, that is a hard transition, letting go. And it's not like I'm completely out of my inbox, because I'm definitely in there a lot, but I try not to mess with it unless like I tell her, because she's messing with it. But so Margot handles my calendar and my inbox. So she's responsible for making sure that there's like first of all, that there's not overlaps in my calendar, that everybody knows where they need to be, that there's notes for all of the meetings that I have upcoming, so that because I have meeting, and so I need I need context for who I'm talking to.
Yep.
And then she also she responds back to everything in my email, so everything. She also keeps up with like pending invoices, people who I said like, hey, I want to talk to this person. She has like a list of those people that she follows up with. She sets up automations for things that are like need to be automated. So like follow up in our list if there's like a lead that we never hear back from, or just says like it's not the right time, like she'll set up that. So anyways, letting go of that, like there's no way I could come back to that. Like when she's not there, I'm just like, what is happening? Like my inbox is piling up.
Oh my God. So does Margot keep you like at inbox 0 always? Or?
It's always at inbox 0,
Wow.
which it's never been like that in my life.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's really nothing to that because she doesn't delete. Okay, we don't delete.
And she's like filing.
It's 0. Well, how about this? It's not inbox 0.
Okay.
There's no unread emails.
Got you. Okay.
So.
Yeah. So I have probably 100 unread emails right now. So.
Yeah, there's no unread emails. And while we're sitting here doing this, Margot we are freaking busy right now. We're 24 days out from a conference. Like I told you, we're finalizing sponsorships today.
Yep.
We're getting speakers, information still. We're making sure everything, like the conference itself is a massive thing. And then just like our internal Key Heart marketing stuff that's going on. And Margot handles all of it. But I think I didn't finish the sentence. It was really hard to start off with, and not only was it hard, it was hard for a lot of reasons, but it's like a new system, it's a new, and she had never been in that role either, so we were like building this together, and I didn't know what I needed, and so there was a lot of like unmet expectations because they weren't being communicated. So once we fully, it probably took 4 months to really like get to a good place.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. All right, I'm going to tee you up for this one. So what's a $10,000 project you're working on right now?
The conference.
Hopefully
it's a $10,000 project.
Oh, it's got to be.
I mean
right? So
expenses, yes.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it's more than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me more about the conference, right? So just as a recap, it's happening in San Antonio, March 30th through April 1st.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's still some tickets available.
Yeah.
Right, as of the first week of March. And you got to get your tickets at thegrowth-experience.com. But tell me about, I know it's kind of, you have your agenda published, but walk us through it a little bit. Like if somebody is thinking about going, what is that growth experience going to be like for them?
So I like to start off thinking about who should go, right? Okay, so you said it's around profits, people, and presence. So who is this for? And I like to ask people, what are your goals? Like, what are you working on in Q2? What are you working on in the end of 2026? And I've heard some incredible goals. Some of them are around marketing and visibility. Some of them are around internal operations. Some of them are around just straight revenue growth, like scaling. We want to grow from this to this. The conference starts off with a VIP experience. So this is really for people who are at the point where they're feeling bottlenecked and they're done with like the feeling that they're having right now and ready to feel free. Laura Kelly and Ryan Redding are leading a personal and professional workshop where you're basically like Laura. If you don't know Laura Kelly, she's with Clover Growth Solutions. She's from Ireland. So that alone is mesmerizing to listen to her talk. Yeah. But she also is just like the most incredible, real, authentic person. And she's somebody that like I will text and be like, I need help right now. Just like mentally, I need somebody to talk to. And she's that person.
Nice.
So she always says like your business should be a vehicle for your life. And every one of us, like we start a business for this idea of freedom, right? Whatever that looks like, whether it's like financial freedom, freedom for opportunity, freedom of time, freedom of spending time with your family, your kids, you're going on vacations, like, and then so many of us don't get that. Like you get into your business and you're drowning, you're broke, you're like, there's no time, there's not even weekends anymore. Now there's nothing. And that's not why we created this business. And you're not going to survive if that's where you're at. And so this VIP experience with Laura and Ryan is really getting through that survival and getting into that what is going to help you thrive as you're moving forward in this year. There's also a really special session by Kimberly Keene walking you through your P&L.
Nice.
She's a margin creator is what she calls herself, a margin coach. So from there, we have our margarita and mariachi party. So you're in San Antonio, you know how special that is. And it's actually...
That alone, guys, that alone.
I know.
And then I saw there's a rooftop rodeo.
Yeah. So the margarita and mariachi is sponsored by El Toro.
Okay.
And that is our welcome party. You get to meet all of our incredible sponsors who are helping us be able to make this event even happen. Day one kicks off with, I guess it's day two. Our first day of content kicks off with Mike McCowitz going through Profit First.
Yep.
And then our VIPs get to do a special Q&A with him, which is going to be awesome. We have some of the most incredible speakers. We've got Howard Partridge, Catherine Howard, Bill Russell,
Zach Garside, I see.
Zach Garside. He's insanely good at what he does.
Yeah, talk about like a rising, I think, star as well, and like his space. And
he just blows my mind. I'm so impressed by him.
I'm gonna totally try to get him on the podcast when he's done. I've been seeing his stuff on social, and I think because didn't they get acquired by Rhino or something?
So he's the president of Prolific.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Prolific is owned by Chris, not Rhino.
Oh, okay.
Cristiano.
Gotcha. Okay, so so that's where I think I first got exposed, and then since then I've just been following along and trying to see, because for the longest time I think I was like an email was like dead, type of thing.
Yeah, he's so good.
But yeah, I would love to understand from him like a fresh perspective on
it. So good. And then we've got contractor panels. We've got an AI panel. We've got a sales and marketing panel. We've got just like around profits, people, and presence. Whatever your goals are, there's a session that's going to help you reach that goal. And
nice.
I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I truly believe you can 10x your investment in the next quarter after coming. If you implement what you learn, even if it's just one or two things, there's no reason why you shouldn't 10x your investment of coming. So
nice, awesome. And people, if they have any questions or anything, what's the best way for them to contact you or
you can reach out to me at jen@keyheartmarketing.com. It's KEEHART. You can also find me on Facebook, message me.
Okay.
So.
Nice. All right, cool. One thing I've been curious to ask you, so as a person in social who just, lives, sleeps, and eats it, what's your favorite social media platform? Where do you when Jen goes to unwind and just
not work?
Yeah.
When I'm not working, I'm on TikTok.
Okay.
That's my favorite platform to consume content on.
Yeah.
It's my good algorithm. But when I'm connecting with people, it's on Facebook.
Okay. If I were to open up your TikTok app and just start scrolling, what are some things I want to see in your algorithm?
So right now I'm totally in that McDonald's CEO. Have you not seen this?
No. Tell me,
my gosh.
Please.
So this is such a interesting marketing thing that happened. But the McDonald's CEO, McDonald's posted a video of him doing a burger review for the Big Archer or whatever, and it's the most awkward video. Side note, it's gotten a ton of attention. So there's that. Yeah. But the video itself was so bad. He called it a product. He's this product has been tested and blah 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 markets, and then he goes to take a bite of it. He's I'm gonna do a taste testing, and this will also be my lunch. It just felt really he didn't eat that food. It felt very inauthentic. Okay, so he takes a bite of it. It's the smallest bite ever. He's look at this big bite. You can't even really see where he's bit out of it. And this is, as far as I know, dead serious. The attention that they've gotten from it is just a side note, and they probably have gotten all attention is good attention. It's probably boosted their sales in some ways. Not good. But what's happened now, and this was blowing up my algorithm today, is every single other burger chain is mocking this video or doing their own version of it. Every CEO is taking a bite of their burger, ordering it. I saw P. Terry's, I saw
Really?
Freddy's, like
Wow.
a whole bunch of them. So that's been most recently my algorithm.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. That's
You will
hilarious. Okay.
I'm
Yeah, it's
sure
like
it'll pop
my
up.
phone probably
Yeah.
heard us talking about it. So that's interesting. Yeah, like content like that is super interesting because you almost wonder, it's like, did they intentionally
It's like the
do
Cracker
that?
Barrel thing.
With the logo and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, and truly, I don't think that, like Cracker Barrel, I don't think that they knew that was what was going to happen. They just had to like shift, you know, but it ended up being an okay marketing thing. I mean, they still didn't get any better.
I think the brands that embrace it, you know, and like, because I guess it could be viewed as like, for lack of better terms, like an error on their part, like of their judgment or their execution or whatever it may be. But like, you know, I think those can sometimes have positive results.
Right. Exactly. And that's what's happening with McDonald's. Although, who's to say what's going to come out of it? It was not good. But the parodies have been, not parodies, but like the other CEOs have been.
But like, so what would you, if you're running McDonald's social and you just posted that, what's your next move?
They've tried to backtrack it a lot.
See, would you like, is backtracking the move?
I mean,
like,
they're trying to like have him do other things and like say other things,
like
you know.
more bad product reviews or what?
I mean, it's more like, this really is what I eat, and here's my lunch today. You know, like I think the guy himself is awkward. I think there's two trains of thought on it. I saw one video where someone was talking about it, and they were like, basically, like this should have never left the editing floor. My whole thing is, and I tell our clients this, like I tell everybody this, that marketing and social media is like a science project. Like it's always just a really good guess, like based on like what you know, based on what you've seen before works, what you're looking at, all of your prior knowledge, like that's all that it is. Like we can guess of what's going to happen next, but we don't know, and we just have to take that data and then we have to evolve. Like that's it. And so that's all that they can do. Like the best thing that they can do is lean into the TikTok culture, which is what they're trying to do.
Right.
Part of it is really the personality of the CEO is not a great camera person. That's just part of it. And
see, that's where I think maybe there's some magic, right? It's just
I know,
like,
it's why it's like
how bad this guy
seems
is,
like it's not good, but who's to say how it's going to play out?
Yeah.
It could still play out okay. They did delete the video, if that says anything.
Oh,
but like it's like already recorded. Like every news channel's posting it, everything.
That's
so
a terrible
like,
move.
That was the worst move.
Yeah. I would have just like, they should have just doubled down on it.
Yeah.
You know, and just
even like tried it again. Like maybe even did it like over and over and over again. Like just him. There's so many ways that you could go with that.
That is.
Yeah, deleting it is never it. Unless you're like offending people. And maybe they're like, well, this is hurting the brand, but it's hard to say. There's so much attention around it.
Honestly, like
deleting it at that point is like admitting fault.
Exactly.
Rather than just like, this is what we meant to do.
Yeah, it's like part of their social media like journey now. Like that is like
I bet the social media person did not agree with them deleting it. My guess is that came from a different level of someone
it came
who's
from somebody
like
10 degrees removed.
Yeah, like we have to delete that. And they were probably like, no, don't delete it. You can't delete it. That's even worse. And they're like, you will get fired. Maybe they already got fired, but they shouldn't be.
Sad. No.
They shouldn't be. I
mean,
mean,
if engagement's the goal, like
I know.
Talk about knocking, and like a brand like McDonald's, I feel like a video like that, like it's not the CEO like doing something that's like
awful.
Political.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, he did call it a product, and he didn't really take a bite, so that is making their food look like not food, but like, but also there's just a lot you could do with that still.
Yeah, that's funny.
And like maybe it's like he needs to be schooled, you know, like maybe there's so much that they could do with that. Like
I don't know, it's like it's so bad it's like good, you know, because there's creators out there that are just like their natural authentic self, and it's like very bad, but it's like it's addicting to like watch it.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
It's very interesting when you cross that line of like it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
You know, and so cool.
I mean, going back to like normal content would be the worst thing they could do.
Yeah.
Like they have to do something with this at this point.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't just go back to like crappy social
Yeah.
content.
Like they should bring in the rest of the C-suite and like do it with
Right?
everybody now,
Like,
right? And
or
then like
they could do so much. Like just like teach him how to properly eat a burger, like
Yeah.
or teach him how to talk about his own product. Like they
Yeah.
could play with it a lot more.
Or even just doing like a one-on-one interview and saying, "Hey, CEO guy, like your video, it's got a lot of questions.
Right.
So like
He
walk us through. Is
did.
that your
Like
did
one
it?
of the questions that he answered was like, "Do you really eat this for lunch?" And he's like, "Of course I do." Like you have to go search it now because it's like and then all the parodies. Like not just the burger places, but like I don't know if you know Madison Humphrey, and she does like wedding parodies or engagement parodies.
Okay, I don't think I've seen her.
She did it too.
Okay.
But a bunch of people do. Like everybody's parodying it. I saw the parody before I actually saw the video, and you know, like then you go to the comments. 'Cause that's the best part of TikTok is the comments, and then people are like, "This is exactly like the original video," and I'm like, "I have to see this original video."
Nice.
And it was like exactly like it.
That's awesome. Well, love it. Jen, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you being here and chatting. And just to remind everybody, if you want tickets to go to the conference, it's going to be a 3-day experience in San Antonio. For tickets, go to thegrowth-experience.com. Thank you guys for watching. Always like, subscribe, leave a comment. Any last parting words, Jen?
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
For sure.
Thanks for watching. This has been great.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Tune in to the next episode. Sweet. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Thank you.
I wasn't even watching the time, so.